in 1970, we made a record called Medal, and on one side of it is a very long track called Echoes. That is sort of me thinking a bit more metaphysically about our trip, you know, as humans from ancient times, overhead the albatross with blah. It was all a bit kind of romantic and science fiction. It was a bit Marvel comic-y. You know, it had kind of attachments to Doctor Strange, who was a cat. No Doctor Strange mentioned in the lyrics. I mentioned Doctor Strange in other songs that I was writing at that time. But it has one verse in it that defines everything I've done since. And the verse is this. It goes... Two strangers passing in the street, by chance two passing glances meet, and I am you, and what I see is me. And will they call us to move on and whatever, but that's the important couplet, is to recognize your connection with your brother or sister, whoever they are, wherever they are. So to say... To make that attachment and to make a declaration that we're all in this together. So that's why I sing songs about the potential descent into a nuclear holocaust to my audiences in, well, tomorrow, Austin, Texas. It's just me saying, I see you, and that's what the bar is all about as well. That's what the vulnerability is. It's saying, I recognize that we're all African. When you say that to a crowded room of Italian journalists, they all look at each other. He's a crazy. We're not African. We're Italian. No, you're misunderstanding me. Genetically, you know, we have the genome.
Yeah.
We can stop worrying about race. There isn't any.
There's no race.
We just look different.
Yes.
But we're not.
We're not at all.
Isn't that reassuring? It is to me.
It's fascinating. It is reassuring. And one of the beautiful things about art, and particularly music, is that you can get a message like that across. And because people love the music and they'll listen to it over and over again and they'll remember your concert, it'll resonate. And it becomes a part of the way you think. It enhances the way people think. And that idea, like a positive mind virus, will grow in your head.
Well, we hope so.
It does.
It's a bit like when I sing Us and Them now, I stop playing my bass when we get to With, Without, and Who'll Deny It's What the Fighting's All About. Because I wrote that in 1972.
Wow.
Okay, that line. And it's still fucking true.
That's crazy.
You know.
So you wrote that line during Vietnam?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a small boy.
Forward he cried from the rear and the front rank died. So that's another version of The Bravery of Being Out of Range, which I wrote in 1990. So I wrote The Bravery of Being Out of Range. So that's 20 years after I wrote Us and Them. And Us and Them is only about two strangers passing in the street, because there is no us and them. It's all us.
Right.
And so, but the people with the money who buy the elections that you were describing in the Citizens United bit of our conversation, they would have us, they own all the newspapers and the TV station, and they would have us believe that the us and them is real and that we are good and they are evil. Right. That's why we've got to kill them all.
Yeah.
And they sell that lie. And some people believe